This is Robert Bakar for EDU 776. I'm working on the Web 2.0 navigation or investigation, I should say. And this week I decided to look at Quiznetic. I chose Quiznetic because it reminds me a lot of Kahoot. Kahoot.it is something I play with my students all the time to review for science tests, social studies tests, math tests, various concepts we go over in my class. Being a special education resource teacher, I oftentimes don't teach much content. I just review content, go over it, re-emphasize it, preview it, scaffold off of it. So I was interested in Quiznetic because I'm looking for other things besides Kahoot because my school and my students use Kahoot all the time, which is fun, but it would be nice to look at something else. So I looked at Quiznetic based on looking at this article that was posted on our page from Larry Lazos. He has a bunch, and I found it on here, so I wanted to go over Quiznetic with you guys. So I made an account. I like this program because, like many programs, you can sign in with Google. I always prefer to do that. That way you don't have to keep control of different passwords and stuff. Okay, so I made a game. I'll show you guys in a second, but I wanted to go over creating a game. So you can press Make a Game, and similar to Kahoot, if you ever used Kahoot in the past, you have the option to enter a title, description, and you kind of make the game your own. I, for instance, because I'm new to this, decided to do a clone a game. So I clicked here, and they give you templates to use. Various templates that you could have questions on, and then kids can move different spots. I chose Candyland for my game, but for the sake of this, I'm going to choose this island-looking one. Okay, so there's about 20 spaces. I don't have to have 20 questions, which at first I thought was like odd, but it makes sense. So here's my board. The player would start obviously at the start place, and then I could do question number 1. I could type in, let's say, what color is Mr. Bacar's hair? And I could go with brown, which is actually the color, black, or red. All right, so let's just say I did one question. I can add more questions, and depending if they get it right or wrong, they'll move up a spot or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or even 6. They kind of roll the dice and they get to choose. So that's how you kind of create the game, and I kind of think it's cool to do. And I'll show you why I like this in a second too. So we're actually going to pretend to play the game that I have created a little bit ago. We actually played a review Kahoot today in my science class. And not my science class, it was for science class in my academic strategies class, which is my special education resource class. We played a science Kahoot for their test. My students have a test on Wednesday. So I'm kind of going to base some of I only came up with a few questions for this Quiznetic, but they'll be based on that science thing as if I were to redo this with the kids. Okay, so I can randomize the questions for kids, which is different from Kahoot, because in Kahoot, all the kids do the same questions at the same time, whereas this is very self-paced, and I really like that because Kahoot often becomes competitive, and kids scream out answers and stuff, and they have to be looking at the screen at all times, at the screen, like the teacher's screen, not at their iPads or Chromebooks. So let's go through this. I'm going to say randomize questions for each player, yes. Enable answering streaks, yes. We'll allow kids to get more than 5 questions right and to keep moving. So let's play, let's go. Alright, so I'm going to open up another tab to show you what it looks like from the user's side. Go to Quiznetic.com. Similar to Kahoot, the students are going to have to type in an access code and a nickname. I don't really like my students coming up with goofy nicknames. I allow them to put their name or like a few emojis afterwards. So I'm going to use my name, or one of my nicknames, Bobby, and a smiley face. Access code is over here. Let's go with 782. Alright, so since I'm the only player, I'm going to press the start button as the proctor, or the moderator here. So I'm going to press start. Now that's all I really have to do as the proctor until the game's over. Unlike Kahoot, you don't really have to touch the thing for it to go on to the next question for the kids. It's all self-paced. All right, so question 1. Well, that doesn't seem right. That was definitely not what I did earlier. Let's go back. It's a little odd. Let me stop the game really quick. So I added a bunch of questions. This could be a flaw. No, I have definitely 4 questions, so let's give that a try again. For some reason, the question did not pop up. Let's give it a try. I did practice this beforehand, I promise. Let's see. I'm going to start the game again. X out. All right. So I'm going to Quiznetic. We have a new access code. I apologize for this delay. All right. I'm going to start the game. All right, so here's our Candyland board. And yes, okay, now here's the first question. For some reason that didn't work. So is chocolate chip cookie, is a chocolate chip cookie a mixture or a substance? I'm going to go with substance. And I got it wrong. So actually I didn't even get to move forward. So I had to move back. Now that's what happens when a student gets it wrong. They do move back 2 places. That's something I created in the game that happens. You can choose up to 5 spaces. I don't think that's fair to make a kid move back 5 spaces. So let's get this question right. Is a flour a mixture or substance? Well, based on me working with the students and my own knowledge, it's a substance. All right. So here's that dice I was telling you about. I'm going to click it. It's going to have me move some spaces. I get to move some 2 spaces. So I won't be able to see that on here, on the actual screen that I have. I have to go look at the proctor's screen or like the teacher's screen, and I see that I moved from here all the way to where it says Bobby over there. So I can keep doing this so I know this is a substance. I roll the dice. I move forward again. 1 space. You can see it keeps moving. So it keeps doing that for the kids, and they'll kind of race each other. It's a little bit of a race. That's what I like about this game a lot. It's not. I mean, yes, it would be nice to have all the kids finish. I think if the first person wins, they don't always. The rest of the people don't get to finish. They'd probably get 2nd or 3rd place. I think, like based on where they are. That I haven't tested out, and I'll have to test out with my students. But I think this is just a really cool alternative to Kahoot, where the kids can actually do this on their screen. It's very self-paced. I really like that a lot. So, thank you for listening. I hope you guys get to check this out as well. And I plan on using it with my students.